the toys we loved in the 1980s. Nostalgia from the 80s, before screens and electronics became dominant. Our imagination was the limit. Travel back in time with this video that brings together some of the most iconic toys from the 1980s. Pokeball, despite causing many falls and bumps to the heads of their owners, Pokeball was one of the biggest hits of the time. After children learn it to balance and make their first jumps, no one could hold them back. Care Bear, the favorite teddy bears of many in Generation X or elder millennials, Care Bears were released in 1985. By the late 1980s, they began to have their own movies and books. Waterful Ring Toss. It was a simple plastic container with one or two buttons depending on the model and filled with water. Pressing the buttons triggered bubbles in the water that could move a small football, basketball, hoops, or fish. Strawberry Shortcake. The scented dolls from the Strawberry Shortcake line became a symbol of childhood in the 1980s. To this day, they make children happy. In 2003 and 2013, the toy was reintroduced to the market, and it even had a new cartoon. Simon Genius. Simon, also known as Genius, was one of the first electronic games. The idea was to press the toy's colored buttons, copy predetermined sequence, and continue until someone failed to remember what the sequence was. It became a classic. Teddy Ruxpin. Teddy Ruxpin did not just appear in a cartoon. It was also a teddy bear with a built-in cassette player. Its tape contained stories that Teddy read to you. Slinky. Legend has it that the toy emerged in the 1940s when an American naval engineer accidentally dropped a twisted spring on the floor. He found the effect curious and decided to turn it into a toy. To this day, the walking spring is an item that can be found in several stores. Rubik's Cube. This 3D puzzle entered the market in 1980 and became an instant craze. To this day, children and adults try to get all the same colors together as fast as possible. G.I. Joe. In the 1960s, G.I. Joe was introduced as a boy's alternative to Barbie. The action doll had neat details and a huge variety of characters and accessories. In the 1980s, it got new life thanks to a cartoon series about the character Florama. After this toy was introduced in 1973, it got generations to fall in love with trains. Dancing Flower. And who didn't have fun with Dancing Flower's swing? The flower with sunglasses and guitar. Move to any noise you made. Just like Slinky and Simon, you've seen this toy return to the store in recent years, especially for nostalgic grown-ups. Odyssey. One of the first video games that emerged was Odyssey. It distinguished itself from the others with its keyboard, allowing you more options in the game. Atari. Like the Odyssey, Atari is considered the beginning of today's video games. With a joystick and a single button, it was a hit for both children and adults at the time. Market Basket. For those who liked to play house, having the market basket with all the necessary products ensured that the day was going to be wonderful. He-Man. By the power of Grayskull. This was one of those 80s toys that came along with a cartoon to promote it. He-Man fought to save the universe from Skeleton and sell thousands of action dolls in the process. Thanks for watching.